Okay, what I'm going to show you in this video is I'm going to show you how to set up an AdWords Express account. With the recent Google My Business launch, I think most businesses will need to be looking at doing some form of advertising on the internet, and clearly AdWords Express is the quickest way to get your business online. I'm not necessarily saying it's the best way, but certainly as a stepping stone to kind of get going, it's definitely a good way to go. Now I've got my my old agency set up as a Google My Business page. I've gone through that. I'll put some links to how you can actually get a Google My Business page up. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to let Martin Shervington show you. But let's just say you're creating a new business. So from your Google Plus account, you would go to adwords.google.com/express. Then what you'll have the ability to do is you'll be able to create a new business. So what you need to do is put in your business website. Now in actual fact, you don't actually need a website. If you don't have a website, then what you will do is you'll be able to create a page for your business on Google Plus. We're not actually going to do that. We're going to use a Google like your own website as a sort of starting point. But just shows you that you can actually do this without needing an actual website. You can use a Google My Business page. So you would put in your URL. So let's just say I'm going to put in jimbanks.co, which is another website that I own. I'm going to call this Jim Banks Consulting. You have the ability to put in a business address. So I'm going to leave that blank for the moment because I'm effectively a consultant. I can work with any client. And obviously the benefit of putting in an address means that if you are a local business, then it will give you the ability to get a map listing. You can target people based upon their location and everything else. I would definitely urge you to kind of put in a phone number. So I'm going to put in my business phone number. What I actually use, I use a service called Flextel. Flextel gives me the ability to create a number that I can route differently, but in order to get a Google Plus listing, a Google local listing, you need to have a local number. So Flextel give you the ability to get a local number in most geographical areas in the UK. So I've got a Flextel number, which is that, and then click on continue. Alright, so I now have created another business. So what I could do is I could actually say, right, I want to target the UK, but in this case what I actually want to do is I want to target people in a specific town. So if I type in if I start to type, it will give me suggestions based upon where I am. So it's not finding somebody on Thames, which is where I live. Right, so let's type in Surrey as a county, type that in, and that obviously gives me a kind of catchment area. If you actually do a specific local business, then you get the ability to kind of be a little bit more granular with your proposition. So then what you need to do is you need to kind of play around with this a little bit. You know, if you look over to the left here, you can see that there's sort of like a 5-step process. So select your audience, create your ad, set your budget, review your ad, go to the checkout and pay for things, and away you go. And at any point in time, if you get stuck, Google have a helpline that you can call between 9 o'clock and 6 o'clock Monday to Friday, and there are other options. Or you can always shoot me an email. I'm more than happy to kind of help small businesses get their businesses online. Right, so what you can do is you can obviously target people that speak a different language, right? Although in this particular case it's just English that you have. The product or service that you want to advertise, and what it does is it shows you that you can actually be kind of a little bit more granular. So let's just say my business is a consulting business. So if I start to type in consulting, Yep, and it brings up various suggestions. So I do consulting on SEO and I do consulting on advertising, but it might be I want to try and find sort of different things. If I suggest marketing, I can say marketing consultant. So if I type that in, what it will also do is it will suggest other types of businesses that you might want to show your ad to. So in this case, marketing consultant will throw up business marketing, local marketing, online marketing. If you look up here, you can actually see at this particular point the potential audience. You might say, well, that audience is actually too big for me. So you could say, right, you know what, I'm going to untick business marketing, and what will happen is that this number will kind of change. So you can see that by unticking online marketing, it takes it down by about 4,000 people. If I add in local marketing, it takes it up by about 28,000. So I could then say, right, okay, well, you know what, I want to go a little bit more granular. I can say I want to do search engine marketing consultant. So again, what we'll do, you see this particular case, it says a limited number of people. So that would probably be a search that would be less beneficial. So again, what you want to do is you want to just start adding different skill sets to it. So we can say, okay, I'm interested in search engine marketing, that makes it 21,000. SEO would make it 35. SEO strategy. So again, you can just play around with this, and you could set up different audiences based upon different things that you might do. And what you'll probably see is if you add one particular category, it could bump it up quite significantly. So if you look at SEO consultants, that pretty much takes it up by 21,000. So just keep playing around with this until you get to kind of an audience that you think might be suitable for you. Right, so here we've got 1.4 million people are interested in SEO in Surrey, which obviously for me is quite surprising, but you know, it's I say it's surprising. So again, what you can do is you can kind of tick and untick. So you can't, if you untick them all, and then sort of add people in. So small business SEO is a very, very small number of people. SEO and SEM, which would be PPC and SEO, again, very few people looking for that. SEO marketing, 48,000. Search engine marketing would add another 22,000. Google SEO. So you have the ability to create your audience. So let's just say, right, I'm going to do that. My product is SEO, and I'm okay with that. So I end up with an audience of 1.5 million people. I click on next, and what will happen is you will be able to create an ad that will be 25 characters in a headline, 35 and 35 in terms of the ad copy. And there are some suggestions here as to what your ad should look like. My suggestion would be, you know, your headline is basically who you are, and then the ad text would be what you sell and what you want people to do. So as you can see here, you know, tell them that you can buy things, or tell them to call you, or you know, sign up to get something, or get a quote. You know, so if you're a plumber, you could say, you know, emergency call outs, you know, call for a quote now, or something like that. So yeah, so here's just some examples of what you might be able to do. So I'm not actually going to go through the process of doing this, but just to show you some of the things you can do, you can actually see how many calls your ad receives. So if you actually set it up for people to call you, what you'll be able to do, and I would definitely recommend that you do, because you know, more and more people are using mobile devices and tablets to do these searches for local businesses, and it just gives you the ability to be able to kind of talk to people straight away. And obviously what you can do is you can actually set your hours of business. So you can say I'm only there between 9 and 6. You could have maybe one ad that would run between those times, and then you'd have a different ad that wouldn't take calls at that point, for when you're kind of not answering the phone. So it's really good in that regard. Once you've actually done that, you set your budget. So I'm just going to put in a headline. I'll just put SEM marketing consultant. say something like, get your business online today, call for a free 15-minute consult, just as an example. And you can see what your ad will kind of look like here. So as you can see, you've got your title, the URL that it's going to go to, a phone number that will be there for people to call on, and then obviously you've got examples of what it would look like in a page. So you can see that that's what it would look like there. If you click on next, you'll see what it looks like on a mobile. So again, it gives you the ability to just preview your ad before you kind of commit to it, and then obviously where you want your ad to go. So you can have a specific website, or you could put in a custom URL if you wanted to do some form of tracking or something like that. So let me click on next. That gives you the ability to then set your budget. So what they're suggesting is that on average you should spend about £11.60 a day, so about £350 a month. You can obviously increase and decrease this with the slider. So what they suggest, that only 1%. So if you was prepared to spend £1,800 a month based upon the audience, you'd be spending about £58 a day. But as it says over here, you can change or cancel this at any particular point in time. And only 1% of your competitors have a higher budget than that. So you can use the slider, or you can set a kind of total yourself, and you can obviously drag it right the way down to, if you only have, let's say you only had £100, you could say, right, I'm going to spend £100 this month. You make it 100. It sets your daily budget at £3.29, and away you go. And what it shows you is that you'll get around about 28 to 47 clicks on your ad per month. Now that obviously sounds quite low, which tells me that the average cost per click in this particular space is quite expensive. But it's clearly these people should be very focused on your business. And the conversion rate would probably be quite good. So what I would probably suggest you do is play around with it. AdWords Express, like I said, is great for getting small businesses that don't understand keyword research and that sort of thing off the ground. But I think you'll probably find that if you were comparing the cost of traffic on AdWords Express versus the cost of traffic setting it up through AdWords itself, then AdWords Express is probably a little bit more expensive. But effectively you're getting the expertise of Google in the background to help you set things up. Right, so we've got our big budget set at £100. We click on next. Then this gives you the ability to review what you're doing. So in this particular case, I've got an ad called SEM Marketing Consultant. If you wanted to rename it, you could. So obviously you've got two types of ads, one for Google search and then one for mobile. Shows you your audience, shows you your budget. So you can change your budget if you wanted to. So you have the ability to review things. You click on next. You then get the opportunity to go to the checkout. So obviously I've got an account already preset set up. But if you didn't have that, then you would get the opportunity to kind of put in your billing at that point. It's asking if you've got a promotion code. I actually run an agency, and part of that agency is I do actually, I actually have got some promotion codes available. So if you want to just sort of add me to your circles and drop me a message, then I'd be happy to kind of give you a promotion code, which will give you the ability to get some advertising budget. So I think my promotion codes are, if you pay £25, you get £100 worth of advertising. So it's a great opportunity for you to test AdWords Express for your business for, effectively, £100 worth of traffic for £25. So once you actually click on next, that then commits that particular ad to run. So I'm going to click on next just to show you kind of what happens. So once you click on next, it goes to the checkout. It says it's been committed. So I can click on view now, and then you get the ability to kind of look at all of the stats. So what will happen is, as you start getting stuff coming through, you'll see views on your ads, clicks, calls, how much you spend, the keywords that they're showing your ad for, how much you spent for the month. And obviously we're doing this on the 14th of June, so it proratas the daily budget to what's left for the end of the month, and it then shows you what your audience is. So if you start running and you're not getting the calls, and you think, okay, well this isn't quite working the way I wanted it to run, what you can also do is you can edit your audience and make it different, right? So I could say, you know what, I want to kind of make it maybe an even smaller area than that. So I could do something like Walton-on-Thames, which is an area just up the road from me, and then click on save. Okay, so we said we were going to do SEO. And then click on save. And then that will be reflected in your audience there. And there's your copy of a preview of your ad. And that's how to set up AdWords Express.